Hi, so I'm Stephanie, and this video is a part of a little series that I'm doing for our housing staff specifically. So if you happen to come across one of these videos for the housing team and you're not in the housing department, you're welcome to watch it, but it may not be as useful to you as some of the other videos. So to my housing friends, hi. It should not matter whether you are in FEST or Road to Home or possibly even Keys and Path. A lot of these steps are the exact same across the board for your programs. So I am going to use a example of a FEST client, but you are welcome to apply these steps to any of those housing programs. And if you have any questions, please let me know. So let's go ahead and get started. This first little video that I'm going to make is how to add more services to your plan. So just a heads up, I am actually in the process of trying to update your plans to make this process obsolete. So I'm hoping after a few weeks or so, you won't need these steps, but just in case, I wanted to make this video, just in case you need this before I finish updating your plans. So what does that mean? What am I referring to? So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to choose the active episode, and I have renamed this client FEST Testing. It is a FEST chart that I have borrowed and modified to make it a little bit anonymous. Okay, and I can see that this client was open to FEST on 6/13 of 19, and I'm actually going to jot that down because I'm going to use that later as my annual date. Okay. So at the treatment plan level, I'm going to click where it says Profile of Treatment Plan. Okay. And what I mean by adding more services is that if I scroll to the bottom of this plan, okay, all the services here have a start date and an end date. Okay, and you see this time span from 2019 to 2021 gives me some years, but not a whole lot of time. Okay, so what tends to happen is that staff start to panic because this end date has gone by. And what happens when this end date passes is that you look in this box and there is nothing there. So it looks like you can't do any of your notes. So I'm going to show you what to do to add more time to your plans. So again, keep in mind that I'm actually in the process of making it so that when you open a chart to FEST or Keys or Road to Home, or any of our other housing programs, that when you open the chart, you get 10 years worth of time. So you can work with them for a decade and not need to do this process. This is only for if you happen to have that blank box down there prior to me finishing updating all that stuff for all of your plans. Okay, but I promise that that's in process. There's just quite a few clients, and so it's taken me a little bit of time to get to them all, but I will. So I actually see several staff who are doing this part correctly. And what you do is you click this box that says add more services to plan. Okay. And then you do one click on where it says FEST, or if you're on a Road to Home plan, it will say Road to Home or for whatever program you're on. And then here it will say a pending components effective date. And what that means is what date do you want to add more services for? Okay. Usually you can leave it at the current date, but let's say if your services expired last week and so you couldn't put your note in for last week, you can always click on the calendar and backdate it as much as you need to. I'm going to backdate it to September 1st of 2020 just to show you how that works, okay? So now I'm going to click on this OK button here, and You can see my little hourglass is kind of in the middle of the screen. So it's going to process this for me. Okay, and it stopped processing. You don't have to do this part, but I just wanted to scroll down and show you if it'll catch up and let me scroll down. So I'll just talk about it before it'll show it to me. Okay, here we go. Here we go. See all this pink where it says signature? No. Okay, so after I add these services, I have to sign off on them, and that's the part that I see most frequently missed. Okay, so staff are pretty good at adding services with the button, but we need to sign off on them before we can use them. Okay, and so that's the step that I see most often and where people start to panic a little bit. Okay, so you want to go to, after you've added the services, you want to go to the top. Right up to the top of the plan, right underneath the person's name, there's a tab that says Review. I'm going to click on Review, and I'm going to click on the plus. The date reviewed is the date that you're adding the stuff to your plan. You can use the current date. We're typically always using the current date. And the next review date, we always set that for the next time you need to be reminded of something. Okay, so it's what is our next, you could almost even say what is our next due date instead of our next review date, because y'all don't have to do quarterlies, okay? But every year we do want to update and make adjustments to this plan. So I jotted down 6/13/19. So this client's annual dates are going to be 6/13/20, 6/13/21, etc. Okay, so I'm going to put the next annual due date. So I'll say, well, now this client is now not due until 2021. So it looks like June 13th of 2021 is the next closest annual date to today's date. Okay. So the way you get that is just like I did before. I jotted down the start date of the plan. When were they open? And their annual date is a year from then. Okay. So I'm going to do the check box that says all. So you just check that box. You click the button that says, show signers, show required desired signers. And my name is not on the box, but see where it says T Path? Now, Path was the original name of the main housing program that we had. And Path is still called Path, but all of our other housing programs share the same team with Path. So just think of this as everybody on the housing team is all together under this housing. So what that means is you just double click, check the box, and click OK. And because you are on the housing team, it will stamp your name. So Stephanie Saunders Stewart. It has a number 2 here because I'm on my my training account instead of my actual profiler account. And then I just click OK. And then I'll see that I did something to update this plan today, and my next annual date is going to be June 13th of 2021. And then I'm going to click save. Okay. So that's the part of how to add more services to your plan. So just keep in mind, and I'm going to repeat it again because I'm still actively working on it. You only need to worry about this is if you run across a client who you need to chart on, and I have not updated their services yet because I am giving you a decade worth of time on all of the clients and all of your programs. So I hope this video is useful to you, and I'm going to make a couple of other videos, so be sure to check those out as well. Thank you very much.